Hello everyone, this is Matt. Today I'm going to introduce you um, new problems on Leetcode. So the problem is word break 2. So it's a updated version of uh, word break 1. So the word break 1. So just give you a non-empty string s and a dictionary word dic, and you just need to return true and false. So whether this string can be divided into several words in a dictionary. If you can find a one solution, you just return true. Otherwise, return false. However, the word break 2 leads to return a string vector. So you need to return all the possible combination of those words in a dictionary, which can uh, construct the input string. Um, so each answer should be unique. So um, you cannot return um, repeated the same combination in the output. So for example, here the input string is cats and dog. So it's this input has two output, so has two possible answers. The first answer is cats and dog because we have cats in the word dictionary and word in the word dictionary and dog. So we can also find cat, sand, and dog in the word dictionary. All right. So this is the problem description. So we need to write an algorithm to return all the possible answers. So if we cannot find any possible answers, we just return an empty vector. Okay, let's look at the solution. First of all, I wrote another function which has different input, so it make it life easier. So if you write another function, so it always um, help it always helps when you write a solution to solve problems on Leetcode. So the let's look at the function. So the input of this function is a string, which is the original string, and the word dictionary. It's a vector consists of strings, and another input is a map, which is a string, which the key of the map is a string, and the value actually is another vector of a string. So let's see. First, we check if this input string is already exist. The input string exists in the map or not. So if it's already in the map, we can just return its return its um, its string vector. So this map data structure is used to store the information that we already found when we recursively call this function. So this is very important because when you recursively call this function, uh, there are a lot of sub problems are the same. You have to store those informations so that you can save a lot of computation time. So this is very important. And let's continue. We define a string of string vector, which to store the possible combination of the remaining part. So you will understand what I'm talking about later. What is the remain? What is the left part? So if the input string, the length of the input string is 0, then you don't need to find any word in the word. You don't need to find any word in the dictionary that consists of empty string. So you just put an empty string in a vector and return it. So this this segment of code is to consider the edge case, and then I wrote a loop function, for loop. So what does this for loop do? Let's dig into this code. So first, we check every word in the word dictionary. It can be found in the start of the original string. So first, the WLEN is the length of the length of the word, and the str length is the length of the input string. So the input string, the length of the word must smaller than the input string, because we are trying to find if a prefix of this string of this input string can match this word or not. If the prefix of the input string can match a word in the dictionary, then we know that some prefix of the input string can match the word, right? So what do we need to consider is the remaining part. So, for example, if the substring index from 0 and the word length is equals to the input equals to the word, then we only need to consider the remaining part, trying to find the combination of the word that can consist of the remain part of the input string. So here we call this word break help again, and we only consider the remain part of the input string. So this function will return a set of string, which is the possible combination that can consist of the remaining part of the original string. So this is sub left. So and the second for loop is trying to combine the possible answers. So the sub left is all the possible answers, the remaining part that can consist that can be consist of the word in the dictionary. So you first tear apart the prefix. So the prefix plus any possible answer in the remaining part, which will consist of the possible answer, all the possible answer of the which contain the prefix, right? So after you find all the possible answers, you insert this prefix string as the key in the map, and the and the left, which is the vector of string, which contains the possible answers uh, of the of the pre of the prefix, which has the prefix which have the prefix s, and finally you return left, which is the answer we need. So that's pretty much about it about these problems. Let me summarize it a little bit. So the basic idea is you first um, you find a prefix of the input string and you try to find all the possible answer of the remaining part, and you recursively call this function to find the remaining part until the input string is empty. And recursive process, you need to store those informations. The information is if you start with this prefix, what's the possible answers of the remaining part, which can of the remaining part, and so you can save a lot of computation time. And at last, you just return the left because you start with the original string, and the left should be all the possible combination that can construct the original string. Okay, that's it. This is the solutions how to solve the word break to Leetcode. Thank you.